Okay, so here we are. This is the third part of our grounding exercise, our rooting exercise. Okay, now again, a lot of Tai Chi's mystery is that it looks like one thing on the outside, but inside there's a lot going on. So to the average passerby who sees you in the park or in the backyard standing like this, they might think, oh, they're doing some sort of Chinese thing, right? They're doing some sort of Kung Fu thing, but they're not seeing the internal parts of it, okay? So the internal parts being, I have those arches, okay? I have that rounding from above and below, okay? I have that sense of the flesh hanging off the bones. My breathing is even, okay? My gaze is diffused. I'm not really focused on anything. I'm just letting my mind, my eyes relax, okay? All this is composed in the structure, okay? And I have that sense of that pendulum, okay, that very center. To be crude for a moment, this is probably the space right behind your genitals, okay? The very dead center of your pelvis, okay? That's your true center of gravity, okay? That's where the marble would rest if the bowl were stopping. Okay, it's a difficult concept. It's a difficult place to imagine in your mind. But again, if you imagine that sense, and that's where this comes in. Okay, that's where that grounding exercise comes in. And we're going to go over those too. We're going to revisit everything. Like I said, layering is very important. If I threw all this at you in the first day, my class would be empty. Okay, so I'm in this position here. Okay, I'm centered in. Now, in my opinion, I think of all the things, and you had to get to this point, you had to go through all this basic training to understand what I'm going to tell you. But now that I'm going to tell you this, I'm hoping that these changes are permanent. And this is one lesson I'd really like some feedback on, because going forward, this is something I would like to teach that I didn't realize I could teach. I had sort of just figured it out recently on my own. And I wanted to impart this to you guys as soon as possible because I think it's valuable. Because this was explained to me by my teacher, and other teachers, but I never really made the click until recently. So I don't know if I can even convey this properly. It might be something that can only be conveyed in person, okay? However, I'm going to try, because it's all tied into this. So martial artists talk about rooting, right? They talk about that idea of being a tree and having these roots go deep into the earth. But that's kind of esoteric, right? It's kind of like, oh, here I am, I'm imagining I'm a tree. The imagination doesn't quite go so far as actual experiential power, as actually experiencing something for real and having that aha moment where you feel it in your body, that kinesthetic feeling, okay? So the idea is that I have a path, okay? Some internal artists call this the ground path. Others call this the root path. Others call this the path to the earth. Whichever you choose is fine, but it's the idea that no matter where I am, there's a line of force going into the earth, okay? So if I'm in my post training, my tree pose, okay, I want to imagine somebody pushing on this shoulder, okay? So if I'm doing this with you guys at home, okay, I'm looking like this, okay? And I'm imagining somebody pressing on this left shoulder. Now, they're not pressing this way. They're pressing at an angle. They're pressing down. Okay, so they're pressing at this angle towards the foot. So in the left shoulder, okay, as I feel it, I'm kind of feeling this in the right leg, okay, because there's a line, there's a direct line between this part in the shoulder that comes all the way down, connects to the leg, and down to the foot, okay. So if somebody were actually pressing on that shoulder, I would sink in like this, and I would feel that ground give way, okay? Now, if I did it the opposite way, okay? Here I am, I'm standing. And again, this is a visualization exercise. So I'm doing this in my mind. If you have a partner, if you guys are home with somebody, with your spouse or your kids or anything like that, and you want to play with this, this is a great exercise to really feel. Just have somebody press on your shoulder, okay? Lightly. The idea isn't to crush somebody into the ground, okay? The idea is just to show you that force transferring. Okay, and so here I am on this shoulder, all right, and I want to feel that pressure. I want to feel that shoulder, okay, and if somebody's doing this to me, they're pressing towards the ground, okay, so they're not pressing forward like this, okay, although I can take it that way, okay, I can still redirect that force downward, but it's more helpful to grasp the concept if there's a slight push down. So it helps if someone's a little taller than you, and it helps if they can push at that angle, okay, so again, I want to imagine an X, I have this line of force coming down. I have this line of force coming down. Okay, so if somebody presses on this shoulder, okay, I can feel the ground. In other words, there's a path. Even though there's all this muscle and bone and organs between my foot and this shoulder, there's a direct path. There's a direct step-by-step path, a chain, okay, that connects this shoulder into the ground, okay? So if someone pushes me on this side, I connect to this leg. If someone pushes me on this side, I connect to this leg, okay? And I want to get that X feeling. I really want to get that feeling of being pushed into the ground, okay? And there's two things that happen. The first is I can get that sense of, from up here, I can feel the ground. So if somebody pushes on this shoulder, I can feel the ground underneath me, okay? So I can almost feel, as soon as somebody does it, I can instantly make the path. So even if I'm standing and I'm hanging out here, okay, and I'm not quite ready for it, I can instantly feel that path, okay? I can close my eyes if I want. I can get that sense of getting pushed down, okay? And notice what's happening with my knees. There's a little bit of a bend in my knees. I don't have to do that. That helps me get that feeling of compression and expansion, okay? And that's another advanced concept that we're going to go over, okay? But I'm really just trying to feel the path, that X pattern, from one shoulder into one leg, from the other shoulder into the other leg, okay? If you can get this concept, then you've come a long way towards understanding how Tai Chi works and how the other internal arts work, okay? Because this idea, I believe, can lead to permanent change, okay? So the idea is, as I push here, I'm getting this sense, okay? So the first sense I get is the path, is the linking of the path. As soon as somebody touches this shoulder, I feel it here. I connect that path instantly, okay? It doesn't require any sort of special training. It doesn't require any sort of mystical Chinese power, okay? It's just a matter of being sensitive. As soon as something presses on this shoulder, or as soon as I imagine something pressing on that shoulder in this angle, this foot comes out, okay? This foot feels the full weight of the ground. I suddenly become aware of my foot. I become aware of the ground underneath, okay? The second thing that happens is I feel that I could use the ground to push back. And that's where the artistry lies. The first part of this is about understanding that path. It's about realizing that there is a path to the ground no matter where you are. Whether I'm in this position, whether I'm in this position, whether I'm in this position, no matter what I'm doing, there's always a path to the ground. Okay? There's always a direct line. There's always a chain that leads from wherever my body, even if I put my hand out like this and you press on it, it travels all the way through and I can connect to the ground. Okay? So, you can have somebody come and test your structure. You can have somebody press on your arms, okay? Try and push you down. Again, you're getting pushed. You don't want this kind of thing, okay? You're not trying to push anybody in this direction. You're trying to help them understand the ground. So when you push, there's always that push downwards towards the ground. And if you're by yourself, again, I just want to get that sense. We're going to start with side to side. We're going to play with the other motions in a little while. But for now, just get that sense of being from the side down to the other side, okay? That X. We'll work on same side stuff later on too, but for now, again, side to side, working on that path, okay? Now, if you want to make things a little more advanced or really to kind of get the concept driven home, so these are weights. These are 10 pounds. You can use a tray. You can use a milk jug. You can use body weights or little free weights if you have them lying around. Whatever you want to use, even a bag of groceries. Well, that probably wouldn't work, but anything that you can hold in your hand like this. Okay, so I'm holding this like I got a delivery, right? So I'm holding this up like this. Okay, and I want to feel down in here. I want to feel two things. I want to feel instantly the connection, okay, from all the way up here, okay, to all the way down here. It requires a bit of imagination. It requires a bit of allowing your body to feel itself in a way that it never did before, okay? So as I hold this piece up, Okay, and you can do it like this if you want. Okay, it doesn't matter. There's no incorrect way or correct way to do it. Just try not to lift the arm too much higher than you have to, because you don't want to start extending your arm and hurting yourself. Okay, so however is necessary. Okay, I like this because it gives me sort of an X. Okay, I'm not holding this too far out, so my arm isn't really stressed out. It's kind of like this, and I just want to feel that stress. Okay, and I want to feel that push back. Okay, I want to feel that push back from the side. Okay, this comes down. It comes down through the arm, the path. I can instantly feel it. Okay, as soon as I lift this weight, I can feel the path. Okay, I can hold that path however I want. So again, when I'm doing this, I'm feeling that weight. Okay, you can even hold your hand out and have somebody press on it. Okay, and again, you're going to feel it down here. So the two things that I want you to feel from this are, one, the sense that as soon as this arm is activated, as soon as I imagine that arm being pushed, the opposite leg kicks in. Okay, and it doesn't kick in any way. I'm not suddenly going trying to make a lot of strength. All right, I'm just feeling the instant connection to the ground. Okay, it's a kinesthetic thing. You will feel it definitively. There's no way to kind of not feel it. All right, and then the second thing I want to feel, and this is what we're going to play with in the upcoming lessons, is I want to get that sense that I can take the ground that I'm on and I can bring it up to the shoulder. Okay, that's the thing about the path. The path works two ways. Okay, if the path from here can work down, the path can also work up. When they say that everything in Tai Chi comes from the ground, that's what they mean. Okay, when I talk about that compression and expansion with the Tai Chi Walk, this leg compresses. I rest on this back leg, it compresses in. It's like a spring. Okay, and just like a spring, there's a certain amount, or like a rubber ball, there's a certain amount that it will compress before it pops back out again. Okay, and that's where the force is generated. That's as soon as I come down. Okay, this is that compression of the spring. Boom, that's the release. Okay, so there's that compression. I'm feeling, I'm storing, I'm gathering the ground. I'm sinking down. Okay, I'm pulling myself down, and then I'm allowing that natural expansion to inform my next move. Okay, so in order to get that, we're going to talk about how to keep that root when you're moving, because that's the hardest part. It's very easy to be well balanced when I'm standing like this. It's much more difficult to do it when someone's throwing shots at me. Okay, it's a whole different animal. So we're going to go over that. We're going to get to all this, but this is your introductory today. Okay, this is we're taking this exercise is found in every martial art across the globe, from karate to kung fu to aikido to judo. All of them have some sort of a standing posture. Okay, and it looks very dumb and simple from the outside, like a cow chewing curd, right? But the reality of it, as you now know, is there's so much more going on the inside than anything. So, as I stand in my tree pose, okay, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long you do it is fine, even if it's 30 seconds, I'm connecting in with those principles, okay? And now I'm adding that idea of, where's my gravity? Can I play with it a little bit? Can I create a path, okay, from my extremities, all of it coming from the ground? Can I feel that natural spring that wants to push me up, okay? And you can play with that. You can play with that with your stepping, okay? We're going to do that in the next exercise. But for today, I think that's going to be it. You've gotten a lot thrown at you, but now you should understand this tree pose from a much different perspective. And hopefully you have a greater appreciation for why it was designed the way it was and for all the principles that it shows you in your body. The one thing I guarantee you is if you work that tree pose every day, your balance will improve. There is no question about it. All right? So for now, that's Tai Chi, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I will see you again on Thursday.